And hey, we're live! How's everyone doing? Let's see if I fit in this camera angles. My head cut off? Might be. I apologize if it is. Hello, chicken fat. It's a little cut off. Okay. Let me back up a tad. Just a little bit. There we go. Gotta get this angle exactly right. What does that look like? That's a little better. Alright, this is fine. I can sit like this. Hello, Brownie Studios, Soul Taker Tech Talks, Chicken Fat, LNZ, Everything Tech, Andrew Loftus, Sam About, Chicken Fat, Gavin Volbert, Joel Whistle, The Ride Guy, Ethan Suter. Hello, everyone. Welcome. How's everyone doing? Sorry you didn't get a video this morning. It's because today is Tuesday. For those who don't know, Tuesday is Tailosive Tech live stream day. That's when I'm live answering your questions from all over the world. There are 2 live streams. Hopefully, there's 2 live streams. One on Tuesdays, one on Thursday nights, so that I can reach kind of a different part of the world. Welcome. So obviously I saw some people in there talking about the copper colored iPhone. Like, of course we already know what that looks like. And it's rumored to be called blush gold, which, to be honest guys, look, there was a rumor that said there was a copper-ish looking iPhone, right? So that's what the rumor said, and then a Chinese company made a dummy mock-up of what they thought the copper gold would look like. So don't really make up an opinion of what you think of blush gold yet, because we haven't really seen it. It's just we're all seeing the Chinese mock-up of what they think it would look like based on a report. So it still might not exist at all, and keep in mind that the blush gold ones we are seeing, that's cool, I haven't seen that one. The blush gold ones we are seeing are not the official ones. We don't know what the actual one looks like. We're pretty sure we know what the black one looks like because it's just black glass, but other than that, we don't know if there's really going to be white bezels or if there's going to be a blush one like the rumors are saying, but we don't know. So it doesn't really make sense to try to keep around the... Oh, would I get it? No. I would definitely get a black iPhone edition. I don't want the silver one. The white one looks ugly. And the blush gold one, if it does end up looking exactly like the Chinese one, then no, I still wouldn't want it. I like the black. Workaholic says, don't buy a MacBook Air. Yes. And then keep in mind, guys, there's a lot of people in the chat, but I definitely will read the super chats, which will be on a whole different column for me, so they're a lot easier for me to keep track of. Drew, say my name, say my name, say my name. Christian Siggs. I've said your name before, I think. Should I buy the AirPods now or wait for the next version of them? It's funny, like, I had a friend who had ordered AirPods like a couple weeks ago, and then he actually just checked Target, and they had 1 pair left. I think if you want to get AirPods, your best bet is not to order them online. It's to check lots and lots of different retail spaces. So, like, check your Best Buys, check your Targets, check even the Apple Store. I went to the Apple Store today. I got this. It's like a little Apple TV controller, which is cool, which I'm hopefully going to be using on Tailosive Gaming if I want to later. But the AirPod availability rate is far higher if you just check different places, including Apple stores. Even if the app says that they're not available for pickup today, you can still like go there and they might have them in stock. Typically when they first open. If you live close to an Apple store or you're just going to a mall to shop, usually check in if you're still looking for AirPods, and you will probably have more luck than waiting the 4 weeks now. Luckily, it's down to 4 weeks expectancy time, but they definitely are not... there's definitely never been an Apple accessory that's been in this high demand before. It's insane that they went straight to 6-week shipping times, like on the first day they came out, and stayed there for 8 months. I don't think that's ever happened to an Apple product. So they're definitely the slowest to produce and highest in demand product they've ever had. Would you recommend getting an Apple TV? Not right now, Blaine. I personally think you should wait because there's rumors of a new one coming out in September. Mostly it's a bad idea to buy most Apple products right now. There's a couple that I think it's a good time to, like, it's a good time to buy a 12-inch MacBook if you haven't and you wanted one. They refreshed the MacBook Pros recently, so, or if you want an iMac with better specs, they refreshed all those at WWDC. iPad Pro, it's ripe season right now, but for the most part, iPhone, Apple Watch, 4K TV, it's not really a great time to buy any of those right now because they're all about to be refreshed. But I can say I'm really enjoying this one because I wasn't ready, like on the Tailosive Gaming channel. I thought about doing some live streams on there, but I wasn't quite ready to invest in a whole console. But I have the Apple TV, so I did a live stream over on Tailosive Gaming the other day, just using the apps on there, which I get are not full-fledged apps. You know, it's a TV box, it's not a console, but they run pretty great. And it worked pretty well, and the frame rate held up pretty nice, and it looks good on the TV. It's not a 4K TV, but it still looks good. So, what Perspective says, what apps can I edit on iPad Pro? What video, I'm guessing. I would recommend LumaFusion, because that one definitely gives you the most options out of any mobile editing app I've ever seen. It's $20, so yeah, it's an expensive app, but you get like bitrate options, which you're not going to get with iMovie, which means it allows you to set the resolution quality of your video, because 1080p from iMovie and 1080p from LumaFusion can be two very different looking videos. So that's why I'd recommend it, and I've used it, and there's a few bugs, but I haven't used it in a while, so those bugs may well have been fixed. I'm not entirely sure, but they definitely could have. So LumaFusion is probably my first go-to. If you want to edit videos on an iPad and you want them to be advanced, you know, more than just the iMovie transitions and music, that's what I hate about most mobile editing systems, is they assume that's all it is. That's all a what do you call it? That's all a editing program is. Oh, you just want to add text, you want to add music, and cut to things, right? That's editing. No, so much more to it than that, and LumaFusion expands on that. It's like Adobe Premiere for your iPad. And because the new iPad Pros have the A10X chip, super fast processing speeds, I can export things really quick on my iPad Pro, and it's great. So if you can't afford a MacBook, you only have an iPad Pro, but you want an editing app, LumaFusion's the way to go. High quality thumbnail. Oh, thank you. Yes. See, Google very gratefully lets us upload our own custom thumbnail before we go live. And luckily, they don't care. You hit a upload button and it says saving, and then it says about to go live, and it just picks some random frame from like a screenshot you took a second ago. Like when you hit Tailosive Tech Live and you hit next, it'll just like take a random picture. So for this one, it was like the ceiling. So it's stupid. Is your name Drew, who loves phones? I like iPhones. Yes, my name is Drew. Technically, it's Andrew, but most people call me Drew. Yeah, I hate it when it does that too. Google does a lot of services, but I just don't feel like they do anything great. They have a lot of problems with most of the things they use. Have a couple of problems that I am really annoyed by, especially because they're my employer. Do you like the rumored blush gold color that looks more brown? No, Joseph Ralphs, and keep in mind, we don't know what the blush gold color is. That is a Chinese mock-up. There was a report that there would be a third color called blush gold, but we don't know what that actually looks like. There was just someone announced that, so then a Chinese manufacturer said, I bet it'll look like this. See, when we're guessing what like the next black iPhone will look like, we know, because we have glass backs before. We know what a black iPhone edition will look like, because it'll just have a glass back. Pretty simple to make a concept for. I'm guaranteeing that probably the dummy models are pretty dang close. But when you're talking something about blush gold, which is more of a copper feel, that's a lot more rare of a color. You have to kind of precise. There's like 1,000 different shades of copper. So the Chinese mock-up is just one concept. So don't act like we know what the blush gold is going to look like. I'm sure it won't look like that. It might look similar, but I'm sure the Chinese factory didn't get it exactly right. They probably got it close, but I bet no one actually has exactly what the silver and blush gold versions will look like. Where the black one, it's pretty easy to guess. There's not a whole lot of different shades of black. What TV service do you use? I don't use TV. There's no need. All of my content that I care about is on YouTube and Netflix. I have hours and hours of entertainment, both in TV shows and YouTube channels that I watch. There's no need for TV. I don't really care about the news, because half of TV services is just commercials, which I hate, and you have to pay more for them. TV service is really expensive. We've never had a TV subscription in my house ever, because we've just been fine with Netflix and YouTube. So no, TV, sir. The blush gold iPhone is not an iPhone. Wake up, America. Yes, exactly. It is not an iPhone. Nice watch band. Thank you. This was sent to me from Elobeth, which, so I did not buy this watch band, but it's meant to kind of replicate the Hermes or Hermes. I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's very complicated. Similar to the name, it's kind of weird. How it kind of like double loops around. I don't know why that's better. Like, it's crazy. Look at this. I'll show you when I take it off here. It's very secure. There. It goes around twice. So the watch band is like twice as long as it needs to be. It's insane. I'm not sure if I like it because I'm worried about getting it wet, and I don't like watch bands that take away the functionality of the watch itself, which is to be waterproof. But anyway, we have our first super chat of the day. Let's get into it. Here's how you put it on. Yeah, you put the watch down, flip it, grab the buckle, comes back in like this. Okay. Slide through the pin. There. See, just so that its design looks great. Okay, I don't know if I like this. I'm just wearing them because they want me to review them, but okay. Addicted to this channel. Can you show us your favorite watch faces? Also, how are the Patreon funds are distributed between channels? And lastly, if someone donates $500 right now, will you buy and review a Nintendo Switch? Thank you, Ben Close, for your donation. Okay, first of all, I am the sole employee of Tailosive. It's just me. My editor helps, but he is definitely not a full-time employee. He's just more of like an independent contractor. So the Patreon funds are going to me. They're not going to Dan, they're not going to Wyatt, they're not going to anyone else. It's just me because I'm the one who is soulfully producing all of the content. Both on the main channel, the Docs channel. Excuse me. There's something caught in my throat. He is only relying on the money that channel produces, so the Patreon money is primarily just going to tech because that's where all my time is spent. And to answer your question, I will review a product if someone sends me the super chat and says specifically to buy this with it. So if someone did donate $500 and said, please review the Nintendo Switch, then yes, I would. But if they just said $500 and said, hey, I want to support you, I love your content, keep it up, then no, I wouldn't just be like, great, I'm going to buy Nintendo Switch right now. If they ask specifically, though, and they provide the money, then yes. That's how this works. Okay, Vinny Toon Gaming. Oh, there's another super chat from Ibtihaj Khan. Imtaj Khan says, I can't wait for you to get your hands on the iPhone to review it. Thank you, me too. Especially being at the Apple Store today. It's like, okay, we're 1 month away now. It's kind of starting to sink in. Like that, at that midnight moment, I'm going to have to pre-order that iPhone as fast as I can. Hopefully, know all the passwords Verizon wants. I really want to get, like, an unlocked version so I don't have to go through Verizon in the setup process because that takes longer, because it's rumored that there are only going to be like 2 to 3 million iPhone editions available on launch date, which means they will sell out immediately. It means that the only people who are going to get them are the ones who are refreshing the Apple Store page and are refreshing them as fast as possible. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be up at midnight, probably live streaming it, just trying to refresh the page, go through the setup process and hit place order, hopefully be able to pick it up at the Apple Store. So that's what I'm hoping will happen. And M. Hill saying, buy the AirPods now, no rumors for new versions. Yeah, I wouldn't buy them online, though. Like I said, check out Best Buy, check out Target. You're more likely to have success just routinely checking in on Apple stores to see if they have them in stock. Because, like today, if you go on the Apple Store app, it won't say that AirPods are available for pickup. But if you go in there, right when they open, they might have 1 or 2. And today they had 2 when they first opened. And I got there at like 10:44. They were like, it wasn't even open for hours. They were both gone. People buy them fast. Can you add a face cam on Luma? Yeah, you can have layers. So as long as you have a video recording of your face, then yeah, you can add it. Do you have the beta for iOS 11? Yes, I have the public beta, though. I switched over to the public betas because the developer betas were driving me mad, and the public betas were slightly more organized, but that hasn't been consistent either, because when I get the new betas, they change things around. But honestly, don't expect me to make videos about like the different each individual beta update, because the changes they make are so minute and meaningless that it's not worth making a whole video about. Like, there are other channels that are going to do that. I'm thinking of Everything Apple Pro. He's going to tell you specifically and as fast as possible what every single tiny little change is with each beta, and I don't think it makes a difference personally. Like, I watch those videos, but I'm like, seriously, you moved the low battery icon slightly lower? I don't see why that makes a difference. So that's why you don't see me reporting on it. Dev and public betas are the same. They're similar, but there's definitely some bugs and glitches that certain ones have that the other one won't. Then why would there be a developer beta if they were exactly the same? Ibn Tahaj says, what's the best way to order the iPhone? Fast, through the website or their app? I think they're the same. I think they connect to the same thing. I don't know which is better, but I believe it's the same server, so I don't think it makes a difference. You'd get views if you did it, though. Yeah, but not everything is just about the views. I want to make content that I think is interesting. That's why you're not seeing me talking about, at least in edited videos. And these, I'm okay with talking about it. But I'm not making a new iPhone 8 video every single hour like the rest of the internet is. It's because I'm sick of it. I think the hype is way too high. And when it comes out, everyone's going to be disappointed with it anyway, because everyone hates iPhones every year regardless. This hype isn't going to change that. And I'm just trying to provide a tech channel that, like, highlights something else than just the same story every day that we still aren't going to know the answer to until next month. It's like, oh, the iPhone's going to do this. Oh, no, it's not going to do this. Oh, it's not going to be delayed. Oh, yes, it is going to be delayed. I hate that. I don't want to make content that's annoying me, so I'm trying to make content that breaks apart from what everyone else is talking about and just try to be a tad more interesting. That's what I'm trying to do. And I don't think those little beta updates make a difference to people. Okay, the contacts icon looks a little different. Great. That's not a major announcement. Just the updates will come. They'll get a little bit better each time. And when iOS 11 fully comes out, none of these developer betas are going to matter anyway. What do you use to store your videos, especially if editing on iPad? To store my videos? I got 512 gigabytes on my iPad. That's pretty good, I think. I don't run out of that fast. Still haven't. Like, not even close. I don't even know if I will ever someday, like, fill that up. In Sketch, hey, thanks for joining. Says, do you still have BlackPods? I do. I'm not liking them, and like I said in my... Where are they? They're back there, yeah. And like I said in my review, I regret buying them because the paint is scuffing. It doesn't look good anymore. It just kind of looks ugly and gross, and the paint chips to the point that I wish I had the white AirPods back. I'd rather have those. But I don't think I missed a Super Chat. I've got a window just dedicated to just Super Chat. There's only been 3 so far, so I'm pretty sure I got them all. But yeah, I don't think BlackPods were a good idea. If you can afford it, and you definitely like must have BlackPods, go for colorware. But again, only if you can afford it. That's very expensive for AirPods. It's $350. And keep in mind, if one of them goes out, they are not under warranty, so you can't replace them if something goes wrong. So fingers crossed, maybe the iPhone edition will come with them. I doubt it, but I really hope they do. That would be great if they did, but I'm not going to expect it. Yeah, Apple did finally get a Instagram page. I saw that. I don't follow it, though, because it's not like they're posting pictures of their products, and that's kind of what I enjoy to do on my Instagram, on Tailosive Tech. I like to just get different Apple products, different lighting and different colors, and just take lots of pictures of them. Like, if a friend of mine has a red iPhone, then I'm going to take it for a second and just be like, hey, can I take a picture for my Instagram? And I take it in different angles. Or, oh, I'm in the Apple Store, I'm going to try on a different watch band. It's like, at the Apple Store today, they let you try on the Apple Watch Edition. That always is really, like, mind-boggling and cool, so I enjoyed that. So you like to take pictures of it. But Talos, the Apple official Instagram is just about taking pictures of whatever to show off the iPhone's camera. I know the iPhone has a good camera. I don't really need an Instagram to tell me that. So that's why I'm not... They have ads for their Instagram. Well, that's all the Instagram page is. It's just a marketing tool. They're not really taking pictures of their actual products. And if they are, they're not taking them with iPhones. Like the pictures of AirPods on their website and stuff, that's taken with super advanced cameras. Ben Close says, have $5 more. You didn't answer my question. Could you show us your favorite watch bands? Oh, I thought you said watch faces. I have a ton. It's hard to say which are my favorite. And I thought you said watch face. Either way, I just like the activity watch face, to be honest. It's just I'm focusing a lot on my activity now because I'm sitting down a lot. That's my job now, and I'm used to a job where I was kind of moving around a lot. Now I'm back to like desk work, so I'm trying to just stay on top of activity rings. So right now it's just like the regular old hands ticking around the clock with the rings in the middle. I like that. It's simple, and I can just focus on closing the rings. Can I show you? It's kind of a mess over there, my collection, but you did donate, so I'll try it. Give me a second here. The room is not super clean, but come over here. Oh, here you go. Check out the watch bands. This is the nylon one. This is a leather one, also from Elobeth. This is the same company. They also sent me these metal ones. These have like lots of jewels on them. This is like a Blink bracelet one. I've wore this one a couple times. It's kind of nice. This is an Apple one. This is a Milanese loop. This is the white Nike band. This is from that bandspop.com company that makes pretty good watch bands, but not quite as good because they're a lot shorter. They only make them in audio. They only make them in like how do you call it? The small medium size in these I prefer medium large. The product red one is from Apple. This is also from Bandspop because it's smaller. Not quite as good, but pretty good. Then this is the blue Nike band, which is no longer sold from Apple. They're all sold out, all gone. And this is a leather. I'm not sure who made this one. It's a red leather one, but it's kind of broken. It doesn't work that well. I haven't worn that in a long time. And then this one is also from Elobeth. It's like a sport band with a white stripe on it, and it also has 2 pins on it. I don't know why, but it does. So, there's the watch band collection, and of course the one I'm wearing with that watch face, the 3 rings on it. So, yeah, there you go. Let me bring you back over here. Make sure the iPhone stays plugged in so we don't lose our battery. Give me a second. Sorry, this must be loud. There. Okay, plugged in. There's all the watch bands. Lots of them. Not sure. I haven't tried all of them on yet because half of them are from Elobeth. They sent me 6 watch bands. It's crazy. Okay, how's that set up? Does that look okay? I'm a little cut off, huh? Yeah, a little cut off. Give me a little bit further. Okay. Let's take more questions. I'm going to buy a new iPhone 7 today. Dilmizzy, please don't. You're so close to the iPhone edition. Just wait a tad longer, okay? You're going to get ripped off. Or at least, if you don't want the iPhone edition, the iPhone 7 will be cheaper later, okay? I can back up a little bit so my head's not cut. You got to see my beautiful hair. You have to. Okay. You have too many third-party watch bands. Again, they were sent to me. I didn't buy them. Like, half of those over there were all third parties. The other ones were the Bandspop ones I did not buy. They were also sent to me, and I've only bought 3 watch bands, I think, in my life. I've bought the Nike Blue, the product red, and the white Nike. That's it. The nylon came with the Apple Watch, and the rest were sent to me. So I don't honestly buy a lot. Okay, do you think we'll get a 512 gigabyte iPhone like the iPad? I personally don't think so because the price on the features of the edition alone are so out there already that they probably won't have the extra money to fit within the profit margin to get to 512. I think it's most likely going to be 64 and 256. I think that'll cover it because they won't have like a ton of diversity when it comes to the editions. There's only going to be a couple different variants they can make, so I'm anticipating 256 and 64. Can we follow your Apple Music? No, you don't want to see that. Let's see. What do you think about the iOS 11 beta? in beta. There's still a lot of bugs. I really hope they get them fixed, but for the most part, it's fine. Why do you live chat from a chair versus a desk? I like this setup, but there's not a lot of room on my desk right now. It's kind of a mess. My life is very busy, for those who didn't know. You want to see the desk right now? It's covered in stuff. I got all my microphone and, like, there's, like, barely any room. I don't really have a tiny tripod I can fit you guys on. I've thought about it. I'm thinking about... Here, I can move this again. I'm thinking about how, like... So for those who don't know, those who are just subscribing to Tailosive, I like to refresh the design layout, the intros, and just the profile pictures and cover photos with a refresh every year. So on January 1st, you're going to see massive changes brought to all of the channels. And hopefully my filming setup as well. I'm still considering a lot of different things I can do, whether it be a new desk, a new layout that's more minimal, and how the live streams go and all that. I'm still working on how that's going to go down, but there's probably not going to be any drastic changes until next year. January 1st, 2018, you get a refresh on all the channels, not just this one. Yeah, so I spend kind of the last... and it's already starting. I'm spending the last kind of third of this year just working on how the videos are going to look and feel next year. How the production value can go up and how the design layouts and stuff can look cooler. Drew, where are your moderators? There's a ton of spam here. I don't know. I keep adding mods. There's a Patreon perk for being a... There's a Patreon perk for being a moderator. We have a lot of moderators, and then when they start banning people, then everyone complains that they're banning people that they shouldn't be. But just try to ignore it. I don't see a terrible amount. A plain gamer, there he goes. Yeah. And stick a Minecraft. I have a Minecraft poster. That doesn't mean you have to spam Minecraft in the chat. How do people think like that? What color HomePod? Jeez, that's a good question. Okay, so all of the accessories are white, so the HomePod would go along with it that way. However, as this year goes on, I'm trying to get more and more like of the black products, because the HomePod kind of is a standalone product. So I like to get black standalone products because they look cool. I think black looks really good. I might have to see them in person first. I think the HomePod won't be something I order online. That'd also be something I go down to the Apple store to see, and then I could decide from there. But I still can't decide. Why don't you watch Thingy Sports? Do you have respect for the fighters? No, I don't. I don't watch sports because I don't find any entertainment value out of it. I don't watch much, though, to be honest. Very rarely do I watch TV shows at all because I'm busy. Which color Apple Watch Series 3 will you be getting? I plan on getting the silver one because it's silly anymore to try to get a watch that matches your phone without getting the stainless steel one, but I don't think I can afford that one. And I think the silver one looks really nice because the silver on it is very, like, much brighter, and I think that contrasts nice with the glass. Especially if you have a black band, it will match that glass on it real well. So I'll probably get the silver one just because I think it looks good, and I've given up on the idea of having a space gray ecosystem. But I still think you can have a space gray large product. So like iPad, MacBook, iMac Pro, hopefully. Those can all be space gray, luckily. But no space gray iPhone. There's no... The space gray Apple Watch, they call it space gray, but the shade of gray they use is a little different than the other ones. So, yeah, I'd probably go with silver. You're my favorite YouTuber. Please mention me, says Perry Descosmo. There you go. You've been mentioned. Budget college laptop. I'd recommend an iPad, honestly. I made it through a lot of college just with my iPad Pro. Had the Apple Pencil, took notes with that. When I needed to, I could turn it on side, type on that. Did all of my work for me. Did not have a laptop through college. They call the Apple Watch one Space Black. Yeah, that's right. The one that's... Well, not the aluminum one, but the one that's shiny, that would kind of match your jet black iPhone 7, but it costs a lot more. They call that one Space Black, which is interesting. Best iPad for $500. Probably the 2017 iPad, right? Just with more storage. Well, thank you, Alexander Price, for raising your hand. Will Apple update the Apple TV? Also, at WWDC, Apple didn't talk much about the Apple TV. Will the Apple TV die? No, 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 no. It's not going to die. They didn't talk much about it because there wasn't much to talk about. It wasn't new hardware. They just announced that, there's not a terrible amount of things you can change with tvOS. The tvOS App Store, it keeps growing. I've noticed that. I've been using this a lot recently, and there is a ton of apps you can put on this, and growing, and lots of games. And I'm hoping to expand that with this controller, because I want to start doing some more live streaming over on the Tailosive gaming channel. I did one yesterday that worked out pretty good. So hopefully that goes well. Chad Billy, I need him to answer. Why? Why do you need me to answer? What's important? I've talked about the blush gold iPhone. What's playing on the TV? This is just like screensaver. If you leave your Apple TV and you don't interact with it for a while, it'll just default to like this slow motion aerial shots of different places that it downloads. It's really cool. I love it. It's very mesmerizing. What do you think of the Mac Mini in 2017, 2018? I get that you want it, and if I was in charge of Apple, I'd be updating it, but the income for that product line in particular is not that great. There's not a ton of people buying the Mac Mini. That's why you're not seeing refreshes for it. And I don't think there's going to be a lot of people, honestly, expecting a refresh. I know you're there. I'm not saying you don't exist. You're not the majority, so Apple's not, that's not a big priority for them. Sorry. Why do you like iOS 7 better than iOS 6? Please answer. Because the design is more simple. I think iOS 6 is too old. I like the multitasking methods better. I think, first of all, I prefer iOS 11 to all of this. Get like screen recorded. The design is more elegant and simple, minimalistic. I prefer it that way. iOS 6 is too complicated. They try to get the shading right and all that, but I prefer it to be clean, simple, 2D. Don't try to make everything all 3D and depthful. It's just simple design for the most part. Will we see more products in the Pro lineup? AirPods Pro, Apple Watch Pro, Apple TV Pro. Probably not. I don't think any of those are going to happen. The ones that you listed. I don't know what the heck AirPods Pro would be. Apple Watch Pro, I don't know what that would be either. Like, it's really, they wouldn't call it a Pro. It would just be the edition. It's just the expensive Apple Watch. Specifications wise, there's really no sense to make one Apple Watch that has better specs than the other, because you just kind of want to make them all standard, because you're not editing, you're not rendering, you're not recording video on your Apple Watch. You're delivering notifications and you're monitoring your activity. That's what's important. So the different categories of Apple Watch are really just the materials they're made out of. Edition, ceramic, and the regular one is stainless steel, space black, and then the cheap one is the aluminum. So that's why it's like that. His question, what do you think Android does better than iOS? Ooh, that's a good question. It's a challenging one. What does Android do better? I guess you could just say customization. That's kind of an obvious answer. You can customize, I'll hand you that. You can customize a lot of Android. Well, you can argue things, though, that I still think wouldn't be necessarily perks. I'm describing things it does, but depending on how you look at it, it could be worse or better. It could be a good thing or a bad thing. Like, I think, yeah, Android is way better at customization, but I think that is what's the problem with it. When nothing is the same with every Android phone, it's very hard for people to get used to one phone, because each one is different. Like people say, Samsung Android is basically its own OS compared to the Pixel. They're like two separate operating systems. But they're not. They both use the Play Store. They're both technically Android, but from phone to phone, they're all different. So I could say that the customization is its downfall. I could also say that Android is really good at being available to lots of different third-party hardware developers that make all different kinds of smartphones. But at the same time, like I said, I think all of that array of different hardware teams working with the same core software and altering it a little bit is what makes it so hard to love. You can get used to it, but I don't think people who like iOS like it because the customization's better. It's not, but the way the OS is handled and the simplicity of it is what people prefer compared to Android, which is kind of like this vast array of unlimited options, which I think is sometimes not what people want. Okay. Customization over optimization. Yes, that's a good way to... Apple Defender, that is a good way to look at Android. Is that customization is more important than the way it's optimized. You need to customize your Android phone to be able to use it. Yeah, that's what I did notice, is that like Android, you can customize it the way you want. So I did, and then everyone complained about it in my video, and they said, oh, you changed it into not stock Android. It's like, isn't that the point? Is that I can change it? So then it's like, oh, you don't want to run it like that, you want to run it like this, and then some people like it a different way, so it's too over the place. That GTA fan says, Drew, thoughts on Apple making a true note competition with a built-in Apple Pencil? I wish they did this because for stylus users, Samsung has a monopoly. Yeah, and it's not a profitable market. They haven't had a successful Note phone since the Note 5. So the Note 8 luckily will be coming back, but Apple doesn't need to attack every monopoly. They know that, and I agree, the Note is kind of the only phone keeping that around. I don't see how people use it. I said in videos that everyone who I know who owns a Note phone like never uses the stylus, or one friend who has the Note I know has the stylus broken, so he can't use it. And then I got a lot of comments from people, I use it for this, I use it for this. I get that you do use it, I just don't know why. I don't think it's better than just typing. You know, you can write down notes, but that's so much slower than just writing it out in the Notes app. That's so much more simple. I don't think using a stylus on such a small screen is useful. I think using a stylus on a big screen like an iPad makes total sense. It's like a piece of paper, you can draw notes. To be able to draw on something that's glass and that has curved edges, because you know the Samsung Galaxy phones have curved glass. It's not like drawing on a piece of paper, because when you get to the edges, the stylus starts to fall off. You can't be very precise when writing on such a small display. You can't really draw very articulately or anything. So I get you use it, I just don't know why you use it. Personally, I think the S Pen is way too small. I'm not comfortable with using a stylus that thin. I can't hold it and write articulately anyway. So I don't see the point of it. I'm sure Apple thinks the same way. Apple Pencil is not for iPhones. It is for drawing. Okay. Would you get a Samsung Galaxy F8 if it had iOS? Or is it important to you that that your phone has Apple hardware? Like, it used to not matter to me, but now, like, the optimization between... It's kind of a dumb situation. It's a dumb scenario to answer to, because I know that wouldn't happen. But if Samsung makes the S8 and for some reason you were able to put iOS on it, it wouldn't be optimized, right? Because it's two different companies clashing together. So first of all, I know that wouldn't happen. But second of all, the reason iOS works so well is because it is optimized with the hardware it's on. So that's kind of the beauty of that OS. It's not just about it works really well and Android doesn't, but if we were to port iOS in some way over to the S8, I'm sure that the optimization wouldn't be as good. But I also understand the point of view that you're saying, like, well, what if you just had an iPhone with curved displays and the Infinity display and Bluetooth 5.0? Yeah, I would like that. But again, it's not going to happen. But and again, if that happened, it wouldn't be compatible as well. You planning on traveling to go to one of the full solar eclipse on August 21st? I am, and it will be my first one. I'm so excited. You should really go and watch it. It will change you, says the realist. Well, to be real with you, I don't think it will. I've seen a solar eclipse before. It's definitely been a few years, but people are acting like it's the end of the world for this one. I get it's cool that the moon casts a shadow over the earth, but I remember the last one, and I was like, it's a little darker, and then it went by. I was like, okay. I think it's just a bigger deal than people are thinking. Like, you don't realize it, but the moon is a lot smaller than the sun. Okay, you know that. But, like, when you're seeing the moon, you know, when the sun's not out, it looks a lot bigger than it really casts a shadow, because the last solar eclipse I watched, the moon got in front of the sun. But the sun was still there. It wasn't like the sun was completely covered up. It takes up the small space, and it's not like it switches to nighttime outside. It just kind of gets a little dim, and it really only lasts 5 not even 5 minutes, right? And then it just goes by. What editing software does your editor use? He uses Adobe Premiere. That's what he prefers. But and I do use Adobe Premiere when I edit the Saturday shorts on the main channel. Okay. My sister says we're going to dinner in a little bit. Thank you, Em. So I don't have a whole lot of time. Probably about 10 more minutes of live streaming time. Sorry to cut it short. You've never seen a solar eclipse like this? Okay. Last total solar eclipse, U.S. was 1970s. What you saw was a partial eclipse. Partial eclipse. Got it. Sorry. I get them mixed up. I apologize. But still, yeah, I'll probably be outside. But no, I'm not going to travel somewhere. I have to go to work. Will you be live reacting to the Apple special event? Yes, Michael Deem. I will try my best to live stream it and hopefully not get my channel banned. What TV do you have? I didn't buy this new. It's an immersion 55-inch 1080p. It was $200. That's why I got it. It was cheap. And I don't really care that much about which TV provider it is, because this one works fine and it was cheap. There's probably other ones out there. The HDR and 4K, but they're too much money. Why don't you stream on Twitch? Because I built my audience on YouTube, and to ask everyone to move over to a different server, a different streaming platform, typically doesn't help, because it means less people watch it. Also, I think the donation system on Twitch isn't quite as good as YouTube, because people can donate without PayPal. They don't, you can donate any currency you may have. So it's just a little different. Okay. So if you have, for those who don't know, if you were wondering, to donate in Super Chat, you got to use a browser. So you just got to leave the YouTube app, go to Safari or whatever you're on, and find the live stream on the browser, and then you can donate. Okay. Alexander Price says, can I get a shout out? My channel is I Review Apple on YouTube. I make Apple videos every week. Okay, there's a shout out. I Review Apple. It's a total solar eclipse. Total ones are amazing. It's truly an awe-inspiring moment of bliss when you see the corona of the sun. Okay. I just don't think it's going to be that big a deal. I think it's like the iPhone 8, you know. You're hyping it up a lot bigger than it is. Okay, it's a little darker outside. Whoa! And then you move on with your life. Don't place your whole life goals on just sudden moments, because you know there's going to be a long time of people waiting after that eclipse of saying, well, we did it, now it's over, it happened, now we got to go home. There's all these people just got to go home. They just spent that whole trip, spent that whole mission losing it. What are you using to film this? My iPhone. It's the best way I can live stream. There's not a better way to live stream. Believe me, I have tried them all. It's a total eclipse of the heart. Okay. I do not like Team 10. Let's just leave it at that. I just got my iPhone 6s a few months ago. What should I do? Wait for my contract to end and get an iPhone in 2020, or buy another Android phone? Those aren't your only options. Come on. You don't have to wait till 2020, and you don't have to get an Android phone. Don't put them into a box. I love all those questions. People always like tag me on Instagram and say, hey, check your DMs, I have an important question for you. And it's always something like, I have $5 and am using a Windows PC, but I want to get a MacBook Pro. What should I do? You know, these impossible scenarios. It's like, I review Apple products and I theorize about Apple products and I defend Apple products. But I guess that convinces people that I am Apple customer support. So people said, I get messages that they say, I dropped my Apple Watch and now it doesn't turn on. What do I do? Don't drop your Apple Watch. I get a lot of interesting messages. Hey, I've been watching all of your channels for a long time. I love you. Thanks, Jake Hall. Appreciate it. Titanium Apple Watch Edition. That would be neat. But it wouldn't look that different. It'd be a little lighter, but for the most part, titanium doesn't look drastically different. Tailosive financial advice. For gaming channels, would you recommend Twitch versus YouTube for starting out? For starting out, I don't know Twitch that well, to be honest. I started at Twitch, but it didn't go that well. I just personally think Twitch isn't as good as a setup I don't like how hard it is to view your stream or to manage your chat. I think YouTube's easier to understand. I think they got the live streaming service right. There's still a ton of problems. But the Twitch one is still more complicated. Like, you have to watch an ad to view your own stream. That got annoying. Like, I wanted to see how the stream quality looked. So when I tap on our stream, an advertisement has to play. And it's like, okay, no one's watching this. And now I have to wait 30 seconds. Like, I don't like that. Sketch, I see your comments. I will talk about that on Discord. If you streamed on anything but YouTube, I wouldn't watch. YouTube is best. See, there's Scott Sullivan defending us right there. Love the Refried Friday. Oh, thank you, Stubborn Droid. Yes, there will be another Refried Friday this Friday. I think this is going to be the lineup. iPhone 7S, 7S Plus, and iPhone X and X Plus. Very little evidence of that, Jesus. We're pretty sure there's only going to be 3. So I wouldn't go there, and I also think the X would be confusing. Because we're going to have iPhone 10 later in a few years, so what would you call that? Do you own Apple shares? I own 46. I do not. I don't have the kind of money to start investing like stuff like that. Do an iPhone 8 wish list, please. As I've said, everyone on the internet is talking about the iPhone 8. I am just trying to break the mold a little bit and talk about something else, which is very hard to do. You know, not knowing what tomorrow's video is going to be on is very difficult, especially when you check the news and it's nothing but iPhone 8 news. This is a tough challenge, and I'm really looking forward to the iPhone 8 coming out because it means we can all shut up about it. I'm so sick of rumors flip-flopping back and forth and thinking, will they do this, will they do this? But then, of course, as soon as this iPhone comes out, everyone's just going to hype on that next iPhone about how great that one's going to be. That's going to change everything. I'm sick of it. I'm tired. What's that? How old are you? I'm 19. Yeah. Do you think the 7S could have thinner bezels like the new iPads that came out? Please answer this last question of mine. They could. I don't think they will. But the leaks are pointing to the form factor being exactly the same as the current iPhone 7. So I don't think that'll change. But I did read a report today saying that the form factor of the 7 is going to be slightly thicker, and it'll make the camera bulge a lot thinner than it is now, and it'll help with battery life. But because of them switching to glass on the 7S and 7S Plus, it will be a lot more thicker, and it might not fit with your old cases. We don't know. When is the next stream? The next live stream will be Thursday evening. 150 likes and he will rip up the Minecraft poster? No, I will rip up the Minecraft poster for $50. That's a good deal. Can I please get a shout out? Nafiz, Rizes? Okay. Google Pixel 2 or no phone at all? Come on. If the Pixel 2 is going to suck compared to all the other phones, but I'd still rather have a phone to no phone. Have you done any video about the augmented reality features coming in iOS 11? No, because I don't know that much about it. It's like ARKit, so it makes it easier for AR features, but for the most part, that's all on the third parties, and iOS 11's in beta. So all it really is it's making easier for developers to use augmented reality features. I summed it up for you just there. It's not much more complicated than that. Do you think that Apple will kill the iPad in the next 5 years? I don't. I think for the first time this quarter, we're seeing sales actually improve for the iPad, which is great. And I'm really excited to see that hopefully turn around. And the iPad got desperately what it needed, which was exclusives. Like that ProMotion display is awesome, and you can only get that on that iPad. Coloring's great. The processor speed is great. It's super thin. Every time I use my iPad Pro, I'm always kind of shocked at how razor thin they made it. Camera is the same one in the iPhone 7. Very, very capable, really good quality, both front and back. 4K, optical image stabilization, all that. Love the iPads, and I hope that they can just keep turning them around. Hopefully, at some point, bring kind of those iPhone edition-esque features to the iPads in the upcoming years, not discontinue them. I hope ProMotion comes with the iPhone edition, but it might not. I'd like to talk more about the Essential phone. It looks really good. You know, it still runs Android, so I probably would never want to switch to it, but it might become like my favorite Android phone, as in if someone had a gun to my head and said you had to pick an Android phone. I would likely go with that because I like the design of it. I like the creator, Andy Rubin. I've listened to a lot of things he said, and it looks really good. I still don't think you can buy them, though. They're still in development. Okay. What should Apple do with its $261 billion? Whatever it's doing now. Just keep it up. It's working. Innovate. Keep working on augmented reality glasses and make a car. I would love Apple to compete with Tesla. That would be so much fun. Please answer, have you ever gotten a virus on any of your Apple products? No, but not long after I got a PC, I got a virus very quickly because for the longest time I was like, oh yeah, viruses are a thing. I'm not used to that, so I've never had a virus. Do you trust the waterproofing on your Apple Watch? I do, because my Apple Watch has gotten wet every day I've worn it because I take it in the shower with me. I like getting notifications and stuff like that, and I swim with it. I've swam with this in the ocean. I swam in my pool. I swam in rivers, lakes. I do trust the waterproofing, and I've had this since September. So the watch is coming up on a year old, and it's still holding up fine, no problems. Steve Jobs versus Tim Cook. Who does a better job? Well, Steve Jobs started the company, but also made a lot of mistakes. But Tim Cook is alive, so you got to give credit where credit's due. He's doing a lot more now. Did MKBHD respond to your collab tweet? He didn't. It was frustrating, because, like, he keeps having these Q&As, and I always ask if he wants to collab at some point. And I got, like, 130 likes or something on that tweet, so I was, like, top 3 replied. But no, he's never DM'd me or anything. I don't expect him to. I'm way too small for him to be interested in. But still, I would love to collab with him. If he asked me to, I would definitely do it. Do you trust the water resistance on the iPhone 7? No, because it's IP67 resistance, not IP68. That's different. 67, which is what the first generation Apple Watch was, means that just use it as a precaution. Like if you fall in a pool or you drop it in water or whatever, you'll probably be fine, but don't intentionally put it in water. Whereas I think the next iPhone is going to have IP68 water resistance, which in that case I would be okay with taking it in a pool, in a shower, stuff like that. But he's not my enemy. He's not my enemy. We just disagree on lots of stuff. I'd like to collab and talk about our disagreements. Do you have a day job? This is it. YouTube is full-time. Do you have any favorite YouTubers? Red Letter Media is my favorite. But if you want to know more about them and who they are, or more about me, personal life, subscribe to Tailosive Talks. I'm uploading videos on there like 3 times a week. You can see where I unbox all my P.O. Box stuff. I have a show on there called Hello World, where I just talk more about my life and social commentary. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the main channel, Tailosive, which is simply called, Tailosive. No subtext to that one. Where I do comedy sketches once a week on there. Really appreciate subscribers there. And for the first time ever in a long time, I'm going to ask you if you want to subscribe to Tailosive Gaming. I'm going to start live streaming games I can play on my Apple TV. Pretty small channel as of now, but we're coming up on 1,000 subs. When we get there, we can do the super chat stuff. Wait, what was the question? Did someone ask something weird? If you donated that wrong, whatever. How do you feel about Apple investing in healthcare? Well, typically the Apple Watch is kind of related to that. But anyway, what does Tailosive mean? Again, the explanation of where Tailosive came from is in an episode of Hello World. I believe it's episode 7. It's a long story, but you can check it out on Tailosive Talks. Oh, Daniel Holloway's in the chat. How you been, dude? I am good. Thanks for asking. Did you watch Dunkirk? I did. And I've yet to talk about it on Tailosive Movie Reviews because that's all Dan's channel right now. He's very busy. I'm very busy. What do you think about an IP69 in an iPhone? What would that be? Super water resistance. You can take it like 150 meters deep. Will there be a product red Apple Watch? I don't know, but I would like there to be. Yeah, I thought Dunkirk was a little disappointing too, Ben. Wasn't my favorite Chris Nolan movie. It was accurate, but it was well done production-wise. It just didn't wow me like his other ones did. Do a Snapchat rant so I can tell you you're wrong. I think in one of the next episodes of Hello World, I do a talk about Snapchat and why I don't use it. I saw a Snapbot today at the mall where the Apple store was. That was weird. There's just two people standing at this vending machine. It's very awkward. Okay. We got any more big questions, or should I wrap it up? We're coming up on an hour. Yeah, we're getting there. And my family is waiting on me as I speak, so I might have to just wrap this guy up. Let's just ask a couple more questions. Do a vid on Johnny Ive. I think he's been great for Apple. He's been designing so much stuff, and I think he's just kind of the modern revolutionist of how technology should look. And he's been there for a long time. I think he designed the original iMac, I believe. I think it's great. Let's see. Did you see The Office's YouTube? No, I didn't. I don't know what that is. Favorite iPhone case? I like the ones from Apple. Those look good. I wish they would make a battery case for the 7 Plus. They don't, because they're like, oh, the battery's good. But I don't care. I want a bigger battery. Do a live live today or soon? Again, there hasn't been really an instance where I should do a live live. It's just been me sitting around doing nothing a lot. Not nothing, but making content. How do you deal with scratches on your jet black iPhone? They're really not that noticeable unless you look for them. If you hold it in direct light and say like, oh, there's scratches. But for the most part, there really isn't that many scratches. It's hard to notice. Apple Car, will there be one? I hope so, but again, I don't know everything. I want there to be. I haven't reviewed any Sony phones. I'm not actually sure what I'd think of them. They probably run OSs that make me not like them. Thoughts on Red ecosystem? There's not a lot. There's like what? What I don't like is the product red iPhone case and the red sport band. They're the same color, but the red iPhone is a different shade. And so is the red iPod Touch and the red... Well, the iPods are discontinued now. Let's see. Okay. iPad Pro 19.5, big enough for college? That's too big. Don't get a 19.5-inch iPad because that doesn't exist. I know. You meant to say 10. That's perfect. Yes, I've been loving my 10.5-inch iPad. So, yeah, the next stream is going to be Thursday night. Thank you guys for tuning in. Love all your questions. I will do an iPhone 8 video sometime. Probably when it comes out. Or maybe before. But I'm trying to go as far as I can without talking about it so that hype stays down. It's way too high. I want to provide a channel where people can talk about something else. Focus on... There's more to life than the next iPhone. It's going to disappoint all of you anyway. All right. Thank you for all of your questions. This is your Apple Sheep here. And I will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.